As the movie begins, we see four friends seated in the stands of a race event. They came to enjoy the excitement of a car race. Among them, one is named Nick and his close friend is Lori. Along with them are two other friends. They're seated in section 180, eagerly awaiting the action. Everyone is immersed in the thrill of the race, except for Nick, who feels uneasy. He senses something terrible is about to happen, a feeling he can't shake off. Around them, the crowd is diverse and there's a cowboy sitting just ahead of them. Nearby, an American couple listens to a guard giving them some instructions. A mother arrives with her two kids and a mechanic joins his best friend in the stands. Nick can't help but feel that a tragic accident is looming. A screwdriver, lying unnoticed on the track, suddenly falls and punctures the tire of a car racing by. The accident begins, cars collide, skidding and crashing into each other. Chaos erupts. One of the cars loses control and a tire flies into the mechanic's friend, killing her instantly. The crashes continue, the car spinning out of control, and another tire strikes the American couple, leading to their untimely deaths. In a horrifying turn, the engine of a car crashes into the mother and her children, killing her in a brutal instant. The mechanic, desperately running to escape, meets a tragic end as well. Then, the cowboy dies in a freak accident. Nick watches in horror as his friends, running for safety, perish beneath the collapsing roof. A massive explosion follows, claiming the lives of Lori and the security guard. The devastation seems endless and Nick too meets his fate. Suddenly, Nick wakes up, gasping for air. Confused, he realizes he's back at the race moments before the crash. It's as though he had seen the future, an ominous vision of what was to come. He's shaken, unable to fully process what just happened. As he watches the cowboy sit in front of him again, he's certain that the horrific crash he witnessed will happen. The same car, with the same number 45, will crash as he foresaw. He panics and warns everyone, but most dismiss him as paranoid. Before they can react, the crash happens exactly as he predicted. Nick tries to warn the crowd, but no one listens. He's kicked out of the stadium, but the scene unfolds just as he had feared. The explosion sends debris flying, and the mechanic's friend dies in the aftermath. Everyone is shaken by the disaster. Later that night, a memorial is held for the victims, and Nick and Lori attend. They meet survivors, including the American man, who is bitter and angry, blaming the security guard for not allowing him to enter during the crash. In the night, Nick has another vision. This time, he sees a fire, but he can't make sense of it. Meanwhile, the American man, consumed by grief, drunkenly seeks out the security guard at his home. His actions lead to an accident with a truck, causing an explosion that kills him. As Nick watches the news, he realizes that his vision predicted this man's death as well. But more visions follow. He sees a mother and her children at a salon, narrowly escaping multiple accidents. Yet, fate catches up with her when a stone thrown by her own children hits her in the eye, killing her instantly. Nick begins to piece together the concept of death and its inevitable grasp. He and Lori delve into research about how death's process works and discover a pattern. They realize that if they can stop death's course, they might save lives. But as they continue their journey, more death follows. Nick foresees that the mechanic is next, and despite his disbelief, the mechanic falls victim to death in a gruesome accident at his shop. Nick now knows that his friends, Hunt and Janet, are next. He sees them both trapped in dangerous situations involving water, and they come up with a plan to save them. Lori goes to rescue Janet from a car wash, and Nick rushes to the water park to find Hunt. Though they manage to save Janet, Hunt tragically dies in a terrible water-related accident. Nick realizes the pattern of death cannot be avoided, but he and Lori refuse to give up. They try to save the security guard, but he's resigned to his fate, his family long gone. When Nick realizes that by saving Janet, he may have broken death's cycle, they try to move forward, hopeful that they've won. But Nick's unease persists, especially when he learns that the cowboy who survived the crash could now be the next to die. As he tries to stop the cycle of death, a tragic twist awaits. Nick and Lori find themselves in a race against time, desperately trying to save everyone they can. But the pattern is relentless. Nick's visions continue, leading him to a movie theater where a deadly explosion occurs, ending Janet's life. Lori is next, and despite all efforts to escape, the blast consumes them all, claiming Lori's life. In a final attempt to stop death, Nick goes to the room where the fire started, hoping to save everyone. But it's too late, he only succeeds in getting injured while trying to put out the flames. He thought he had stopped the cycle, but in the end, death always finds a way. 2 weeks later, Nick and Lori sit in a cafe named Death by Caffeine, surrounded by clues that signal their doom. Nick begins to sense that they haven't escaped death after all. The cafe, the environment, they were all part of the plan. As he contemplates his fate, a train crashes into the cafe and death claims them all.